Hi guys, I'm Shmee and I'm currently on a little Euro tour from the south of Germany across and into the French Alps. And to do this adventure, I'm driving in the race chip Porsche Panamera. It's my first time driving in a new Panamera, and this car is the 4S diesel, which is very comfortable and luxurious so far. I'm only about 50 kilometers in, but with the race chip tuning, this car has 505 horsepower and over 1,000 Newton meters of torque. So I'm sure the car and I are going to become very good friends over this journey. There'll be a lot of comfort, but there's also quite a lot of performance. So I'm going to experiment with the different options as we go. But my first stop is where I am now, Bob Forstner in Pleiningen, just outside Stuttgart. There's a museum up top with some rather lovely Lamborghinis that we're going to go and check out in a moment, but also the showroom down here that you can see. Well, firstly, there's a Diablo GT right there, and there are 3 Zondas further back. So we're going to go and have a look inside, show you around, but it's quite a relevant and cool location because there's a sister dealership in London, which is basically where I shot some of my first ever videos. And also, there's one of my first ever videos, the car from one of my first ever videos is inside too. So it's cool to show you that. I've been here before on a Wes Shmee tour a couple of years ago, but let's go inside and check it out. Now then, there's a very nice lineup of Porsches there, but let's skip straight past that. I'm coming back in a moment, don't worry. Likewise, past the Diablo GT, I'll come back to that, and the Versace Murcielago, because I want to go straight over to the Paganis. Now, Bob Forstner is the Pagani dealership here in Germany, so we've got 3 Zondas to take a look at. Zonda F here, and then 2 silver cars here, an F and an S at the back. That S must be really quite original because it's got the higher mirrors there on the A-pillars as well. But this F, I'm noticing, has the 2-part wing, which was normally from the S, not an F. Yeah, there. That's what the original F wing would look like. But these things are just the height of cool, this one being a roadster. Just imagine what driving this must be like. Manual gearbox, screaming V12 behind you, just astonishing. And then I nearly skipped past the Miura, which is looking so beautiful there in the red and silver. That's a lovely color combination. What a car. That's one Lamborghini I love. But as I come around here, look at the size of the back end of the Zonda. It is so wide at the rear and narrow relatively at the front. But they are beautiful, they are elegant. And this car in full silver is kind of interesting as well. What else do we have? This is a Lamborghini Islero, I think. And then at the back, we have a Diablo VT Roadster in a slightly pinky red. And look at the interior. Look at the interior. Full pink leather. That is very bold. So, LM002, the Lamborghini tractor, the Countach engine in a 4-door off-roader. We've got a Diablo SVR race car, which is kind of cool too. Brabus 700 G-Class. Then this is the Versace Murcielago. I think they made 50 of them, maybe 50 coupes, 50 roadsters. Not sure 100%. But also, it's not standard. It's got a Bob Forstner kit on it. And look at the wheels. Those are the Reventon wheels. Those are the wheels off the Lamborghini Reventon. That's quite something. I actually remember that from my previous visit. So let's go into Porsche territory. Something I wish I knew a little bit more about. Well, I know the GT3 RS in ultraviolet, of course. That's not new to me at all. But a lot of the other things are relatively confusing. Is this a speedster with the humps at the rear, or just a convertible? Just a convertible. Carrera convertible. Excuse me. I've failed already at the first hurdle. There's a nice little collection to wander around in here. Quite like the colour of this as well. Very similar to the modern ultraviolet. So we'll skip back just over to these two, the 30th anniversary Diablo and the GT. Then I'm going to head upstairs because that is really Lamborghini territory. But I think a lot of Lambo lovers like this an awful lot, the GT. Just because it's ridiculous in terms of its design. It's got that huge scoop in the centre, the big vent on the front bonnet, and cutaways, and all sorts. But let's head upstairs. Now, into the museum, and I feel like this is going to be quite a knowledge test, because we've got many different generations of Lamborghini in here to take a look at. Let's get started here. We've got 2 VT Roadster Diablos. I get a little bit confused with all the different generations of Diablo, but originally they had pop-up headlights, then they got the fixed headlights when Audi came in. So those are later Diablos. Here's an earlier one. This is the SE30, the 30th anniversary Diablo, in this unique colour. Now, you might have seen a McLaren 675 LT. Pictures of that from the Middle East have floated all around the internet, painted in that colour that came out for the SE30. Then moving on, we've got the Countach. This car looks pretty cool, actually, in the black. Very, very old school Lamborghini. This is basically where they started, you know. Well, both of these cars have doors that go completely straight up, but angular, absurd, impractical. That's basically what they were there for. These, well, the yellow one as well, these look like the same. These anniversaries, I'm going to have to come and have a quick look. Yes, Countach 25th anniversary. One with wing, one without wing, and then that one must be a 5000S on the end as well. So a couple of Countaches of different generations here. Then we will swing round and we've got a Jarama with back seats. Lamborghini haven't made that many four-seater cars. And we've got a Jalpa, which is pretty unusual as well. Over there, we've got the car that I mentioned at the beginning. So one of my very, very earliest vlogs was with this car, the Diablo Jota. It used to be on display in the Bob Forstner showroom in London. Probably we're talking like 2011 here. And I think one of the first times I ever put a camera to my face to make a video like this for YouTube. Not just making a video, but like a vlog, filming, talking to myself, was a 30-second clip I filmed on my BlackBerry with this car in the showroom in London. So it's got some significance to me. It's cool to be able to see it again. Right-hand drive, I think, if I remember the stat was there only 3 of them right-hand drive. So that's pretty special. Then next to that, we've got another Diablo. I would guess that's a VT2. Then we come on and we've got the 400 GT, which I do think look really pretty. I've always thought they look nice, especially in that colour. And then finally, we've got the Juraco, another with back seats. So that's quite a little Lamborghini collection up here. Some particularly unusual cars, but fun to come and see them again, because it was a while since I was last here, and there's lots of other sort of fun merchandise and random things like the bull here, dotted around the museum, which is cool. Anyway, this was a bit of a rush visit. I'm going to head now outside and back to the car. So a quick little visit to Bob Forstner. It's always nice to go along and see what's going on then. It's been a very long time since I was last there, but now it's time to hit the roads again. And I've got a couple of kind of short drives between various places I'm going to in this region of Germany, around Stuttgart. But I'll be driving on the motorway, nothing exciting. And we know this car is going to be very comfortable and luxurious there. But in a few days' time, I'll be hitting the Autobahns and the French autoroutes as I make my way towards the Alps. And that means, of course, some alpine roads and some twisties. So it'll be interesting to see how well this car handles dynamically in those kind of roads. Obviously, we know it's going to be great on the motorway and it feels brilliant already. I mean, I haven't tried, obviously, using the performance, the 500 horsepower and 1,000 Newton meters. That's going to be a different story to experience what that is like in the diesel engine. But it is very, very quiet. Just wafting and cruising along is unlike filming in a supercar, that's for sure, because it's just gentle. I mean, there's a little bit of diesel interference if you sort of put your foot down and use some power, but general driving like this seems really, really good. And one thing I love about the new Panamera is the whole sort of ergonomic update to the interior. The way the screens are, well, there are larger screens that are bright and high resolution, so really nice to look at. All the buttons in the center console have this kind of haptic feedback to them, so you feel, I don't know, it's just a nice press. They're glass surfaces, so they're just really, really nice, and you don't have the problem that you had in previous Porsches, including my GT4, where under the screen you had a whole load of buttons that were just immensely fiddly to press the right ones. They were really small and right next to each other. Anyway, this is all so much sort of nicer overall, and you've got the sport modes controlled through the toggle on the steering wheel, a bit like the 918. It just feels like a really, really, really good car. One that the head would definitely say was a sensible car to use for this kind of purpose, driving around Europe with some luggage in the boot. But does it have the flair? I'm not necessarily sure about that side of it. However, I'm not going to waffle too much. I'm going to do a full review about the car when I've driven it a little bit more and have kind of some more feedback and thoughts of getting to know it and what it's like on long distance drives, and just being more familiar with it, and obviously about how the race chip setup works, trying it, reverting it to normal, and trying it in race mode as well. But for now, onwards, and I will catch up with you again with my next video from this trip, driving in the race chip Panamera, very soon. Thanks for watching, guys. I'll catch you soon. Cheers.